Okay, so have you ever like walked into a room
Uh-huh.
and totally blanked on why you went in there?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Or like you're at a party, you can't remember someone's name, even though you know you've met them before?
Yeah, it's like right there on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't.
It's the worst.
Ugh, I
It
know.
just hit me that we rely on memory for literally everything.
It's true.
But most of us don't really stop to think about how it all works.
Right, like all the stuff going on behind the scenes
Yeah, exactly.
in our brains.
So today we're doing a deep dive into your brain on memory.
Love it.
I've got all your notes here.
Great.
And I have to say, I'm pretty excited to like get into the nitty-gritty of how this whole memory thing actually works.
Well, you know what's really fascinating about memory is that it's not just like one single thing. It's
What?
not like a file cabinet in your brain or something.
Oh,
It's a whole network
yeah.
of different processes and regions of the brain
Okay.
all working together.
Interesting.
Super complex.
So more like a bustling city with different districts that specialize in certain things.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Okay.
So let's start with one of the key players in this memory city, the hippocampus.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that.
If the brain were a city,
Uh-huh.
the hippocampus would be like the grand central archive.
The archive.
Yeah, constantly taking in new information,
Okay.
sifting through it,
Uh-huh.
and deciding what needs to be kept for the long haul.
So that's where new memories are formed.
That's exactly it. And
Wow.
here's where it gets even cooler.
Okay.
This whole archival process
Yeah?
is super active when we're asleep.
Really?
You know how
Profound.
sometimes you have dreams about things that happened that day?
Oh, yeah.
It's not a coincidence.
Oh, okay.
During sleep, the hippocampus is basically replaying those experiences,
Uh-huh.
strengthening the connections and moving them into long-term storage.
So, like, when I'm dreaming about that embarrassing thing I did,
Exactly.
my hippocampus is hard at work.
It's making sure that memory sticks around.
Oh, great.
I know, right?
So does that mean that people who don't get enough sleep
Oh, yeah.
are going to have a harder time learning?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Sleep is essential for memory consolidation.
Oh.
Think of it like
Yeah.
organizing your files after a long day.
Okay.
If you skip that step, it's way harder to find what you need later.
So sleep is like the brain's filing system.
Pretty much.
I'm definitely going to try to get more sleep.
Good idea.
Okay, so we've talked about the hippocampus, the archive.
Right.
What other key players are there in this memory city?
Well, there's another big one we can't forget about,
Okay.
the amygdala.
Okay.
Now, this is the emotional center of the brain,
Uh-huh.
and it plays a huge role in how we experience and remember things.
Okay.
It's like it attaches feelings and emotions to our memories.
Like a little tag.
Yeah, exactly. That's why some memories, especially the ones tied to really strong emotions, can feel so vivid even years later.
That makes sense.
Mm.
Some of my strongest memories are definitely tied to strong emotions, both good and bad.
Exactly. That's what we call emotional memory,
Emotional memory.
where feelings are basically built into specific events.
Interesting.
It really shows you how our memories aren't just facts and information,
Right.
but they're also a reflection of our emotions.
I like that.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's like they're part of who we are.
Exactly.
This is so much more complex than I ever realized.
I know, right?
So we talked about the hippocampus, we talked about the amygdala.
Uh-huh.
Any other big players we should know about?
Definitely, we can't forget about the prefrontal cortex.
Prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, this is like the brain's RAM.
the RAM.
It's the working memory center.
Okay.
It holds the information we need right now
Uh-huh.
to keep us focused on whatever we're doing.
Okay.
Like if you're trying to remember a phone number long enough to dial it,
Okay.
or you're keeping track of ingredients while you're cooking,
Okay.
that's your prefrontal cortex.
So is that why I'm so bad at remembering names?
Maybe.
Like my prefrontal cortex just checks out.
Well, one trick that might help is to repeat the person's name back to them a few times when you meet them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It helps reinforce the connection in your working memory.
Okay. I'm going to try that.
Let me know if it works.
I will.
Cool.
Okay, so we've met the key players in this memory city.
The hippocampus, the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex.
Exactly. Let's talk about the different types of memory.
Sure.
Your notes mention short-term memory,
Yeah.
which seems pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah. That's pretty much what it sounds like.
Like remembering a code you just heard.
Exactly. Short-term memory is very fleeting.
Fleeting.
Yeah, it holds information for a really short period,
Uh-huh.
but then it fades away quickly unless you really try to hold on to it.
And then there's long-term memory,
Right.
which seems like the ultimate goal.
Yeah, getting those memories into long-term storage.
Exactly.
Long-term memory is our big storage system.
Ah,
It holds everything from childhood events
right.
to facts you learned in school to skills you've developed.
Wow.
It's incredible how much information we can store over a lifetime.
Speaking of skills,
Yeah.
have you ever noticed how you can ride a bike even after years of not doing it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like it all comes back to you.
Muscle memory.
Is that thanks to a different type of memory?
Yeah, that's procedural memory.
Procedural memory.
Exactly. It's our muscle memory.
Okay.
It's how we learn to do things automatically without thinking about them.
So like playing a musical instrument
Yeah.
or typing
Uh-huh.
or driving a car,
All of that.
that's procedural memory.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. And then there's that feeling you get when you smell something or hear a song,
Yeah.
and it takes you back to a specific time and place.
Oh, I love that.
Is that another type of memory?
Yes, that's episodic memory.
Episodic memory.
It's our personal memory bank of experiences.
Okay.
It's all about remembering events, the who, what, where, and when of our lives.
What's like our own personal story?
Exactly.
That's cool.
It's pretty powerful, right?
Yeah, so we've got short-term, long-term, procedural, and episodic.
That covers the main types.
But how do those short-term memories actually become long-term memories?
That brings us back to memory consolidation,
Right.
which we talked about earlier.
Right.
Remember, it happens mostly while we sleep.
Right.
The brain goes through all the stuff that happened during the day,
Uh-huh.
strengthens the important connections,
Okay.
and moves that information into long-term storage.
So it's like the brain's night shift working behind the scenes,
Exactly.
organizing everything.
And if you disrupt that sleep,
Oh,
it can mess with the whole process.
so getting enough sleep is really important.
Super important for learning and memory.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Sleep is your friend.
Okay, so this has all been fascinating.
Glad you're enjoying it.
But I want to talk about something that I know a lot of people are thinking about.
What's that?
How memory changes as we get older.
Ah, yeah, that's a big one.
I mean, we've all had those moments where we can't remember something, or we feel like our memory isn't as sharp as it used to be.
It's a common concern.
Yeah. It's just inevitable that our memories decline as we age.
Well, it's true that memory decline is a normal part of aging for a lot of people,
Okay.
but it's not like a one-way slide into forgetfulness.
That's good to hear.
There are things we can do to maintain brain health
Okay.
and support our memory as we get older.
Like what?
Well, research has shown that staying mentally active is key.
Okay.
So things like learning a new language or taking up a challenging hobby
Okay.
or even just doing crossword puzzles.
Right.
These can help create new neural pathways in your brain and boost what we call cognitive reserve,
Cognitive reserve.
like cross-training for your brain,
I like that.
keeping it in shape.
So it's not just about preventing decline,
Right.
but actually making our brains stronger.
Exactly.
Cool. What else can we do?
Well, a healthy diet and regular exercise are important too.
Okay. Those are good for everything.
Pretty much.
What about stress?
Ah, stress is a big one.
I figured.
Chronic stress can actually damage the hippocampus.
Oh, no.
And we know how important the hippocampus is for forming new memories.
Right. The archive.
So finding ways to manage stress
Okay.
is really important for protecting your memory.
This is all great advice.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm learning so much.
Me too.
So what's the big takeaway from all this?
Well, I think the main thing to remember is that memory isn't just one thing.
Right.
It's this incredibly complex and dynamic system
Uh-huh.
with different parts of the brain working together.
Okay.
And while some things might change as we get older,
Right.
there's a lot we can do to protect our memory and keep our brains healthy.
I love that message. It's hopeful.
Not
Not all downhill from here.
Not at all.
So knowing what we know now about how memory works,
Yeah.
what choices can we make today to support our brains for the long term?
That's a great question.
It's something I think everyone should be thinking about.
I agree.
And we've only just scratched the surface here.
Yeah, there's so much more to explore.
But hopefully this deep dive has given everyone a new appreciation for the power of memory.
And how amazing our brains are.
Exactly. And maybe it's even inspired you to take some steps to keep your brain sharp and engaged for years to come.
I hope so.
That's all for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
It was great having you.
It was fun.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.